Greetings and welcome back to the channel. This is part 2 of how to move during this waxing moon. Okay, so while we're talking about this big Gemini, Uranus energy, Mercury energy, I forgot to mention that these things sort of rule technology, especially the technology that we use to communicate, aka our cell phones and cameras and stuff like that. And so the battery went dead, had to go power up, and so that's why we're doing this in two parts. And so we ended off talking about Tuesday, Venus entering Cancer, and how that could lend to the nurturing, protective, motherly qualities that we need to be putting into the seeds that we were planting during the new moon. Okay, we're gonna slide over to the 19th of May, where we also have Mercury sextile in Neptune. Now, when it comes to the big three outer planets, we have Uranus, we got Neptune, and we got Pluto. Now, we just came up with the conclusion that Uranus is the planet of make it and then make it make sense, meaning that you're conjuring or you're drawing ideas from basically different realms, different existences, and bringing in unconventional ideas or reviving, technology and ideas that, have passed or that weren't relevant for the time. And so you bringing them back to the forefront seems unique or unorthodox. Okay, so that's Uranus. Make it and make it make sense. Bringing in ideas, a higher octane of Mercury. Neptune, we could transpose it and say it's a higher octane to Venus, right? So Venus is about love, it's about attractiveness, it's also about sacrifice and compromise, whereas Neptune brings ideas, idealism, vision, fantasy, wants, and that emotion or the vision of you already having these things and how it would feel having you obtain, these fantasies or these dreams or these higher ideals. Okay, and Pluto is about depth. Okay, it's about depth. It's also doom, gloom, death, and destruction with the promise of rebirth. And so, with all of that comes a lot of depth, a lot of substance, and transformation and power comes into play when we talk about Pluto. So, on that note, Mercury sextiling Neptune being in Aries, the sextile is going to merge the energies, and so this could bring forth, beautiful imaginations, beautiful visions. It could be seen as insight, creativity, you having hunches or just gut feelings to do certain things or say certain things in a certain type of way. Makes you a bit, more creative or poetic, even when you're communicating. Again, it's bleeding through Mercury, and so you're going to be thinking, a bit, I don't want to say deeper, but again, Neptune is adding a bit of broadness. Okay, so instead of thinking about depth as in the reality of the situation, you're bringing in, some visions from Neptune of how beautiful things could be, how great things could be, how grandeur things could be, with your imaginations. Now, this could be positive or negative. Okay, the same way you could have, you know, deeper feelings, you could romanticize, you could elaborate, you could get extravagant. With the Neptune energy, you could use that for positive or negative. And so on that day, you got to be careful how you're channeling again that Mercury energy, your mind. Are you using your thoughts positively or negatively? You know what I'm saying? And so there is a element of, being able to tap into, your higher visions. Hopefully they're grounded in reality and grounded in love and helping people and stuff like this. But again, your imagination could kind of run wild and even maybe get the best of you. And so don't be in la la land, don't be in fantasy land. Use these inspirations or insights or hunches or nudges, or these bursts of creativity or a creative response towards your seed that you were planted. And so there are going to be visions, but a real vision should give you more clarity, and not just more escapism. Also, on the 19th, Mercury is going to be trining Pluto. Okay, so this is one of the strongest aspects we're having this week, this whole cluster bomb on Wednesday. Venus going into Cancer, Mercury being in Gemini is going to sextile Neptune and also trine Pluto. We talked about Pluto bringing depth. Pluto is in Aquarius and it's in retrograde, and so revisiting, reactivating, relearning, re-engaging with our acquaintances, affiliations, networking, taking more power and control, setting boundaries. There were certain things that we needed to learn, certain people, places, things, habits, circumstances we needed to make alterations to, or even bring to a complete halt. And so we're revisiting those stuff in Aquarius. With Pluto being over there, doom, gloom, death, and destruction, we're going to the deep depths of these situations and seeing what is helpful, useful, and seeing, what we need to put down, in order so that we could have more room to go forward, right? And so Mercury is trining, and so we're going to be thinking. We have the possibility to not only have these broad, visions, these grandeur visions, but we have the ability to go to the depths and the magnitudes of situations, deep thinking, psychological thinking, going behind the veil and seeing the intentions of people and things that are happening around you. This is a time to be doing research and having powerful conversations. The truth shall be revealed at this point in time, so you should be telling the truth, because Pluto doesn't play. Pluto is going to get to the depths of a situation. It's going to bring things to the surface, and so a lot of understanding could be coming about on that day. Wednesday is going to be a very, very powerful day. So Mercury in Gemini gathers information, but Pluto in Aquarius is going to be exposing and going through all of the detail and all of the intricacies and all of the good and all of the bad and the patterns and intentions behind all of the information, because Pluto wants to gain power and control. And so anything that you're unsure of, this is the time to be gathering all of that information. So this is excellent for being strategic. Okay, so this aspect is going to be quite helpful because it asks us to look beneath the surface and to see what we need to change in terms of beliefs, knowledge, systems, even technology, people, certain places that we go to, and what information or what power does all of this information give us, because no doubt there's going to be information for us to be gathering at this time. And what truths are you finally ready to accept and to claim? Okay, so again, in relation, we're tying everything into the new moon in Taurus. Mercury trine Pluto is, okay, we are talking about planting seeds, but not just planting seeds, but understanding the layers of the soil and the conditions of the soil, and the different people who are planting around you and the circumstances and their intentions, why they are planting this, and their farming, and just the deep psychological makeup behind your desires and other people's desires. For example, if you want more money, okay, so what is your relation to money and self-worth? What's that relationship like? Are you doing your accounting? Do you do bookkeeping? Are you reading books about money? Can you even count? I'm just joking. But if you want love, again, when you look deep into your psychology, are you vulnerable enough? Are you open enough? Are you transparent enough? Are you, relatable? When it comes to stability, if, we're in the Tower season again, so we are thinking about being stable, or is there anything that, is there anything about chaos and drama and anxiety that you like, or that you're drawn to, and so Pluto is trying to get, beneath the surface to reveal the truth. It's going to break down and expose the things that are rotten and dirty and disintegrating and breaking down, and so we could address it, and move forward stronger. And so this aspect could be quite powerful. It's Mercury again, so it's going to be happening mentally, either through your thoughts, through your communications, and even some interactions. This again, could be good for research. This could be good for making content, research, astrology, meditation, praying, being strategic, long-term visions, and the whole lot. On the same day, Venus is sextiling Mars. Okay, so we're not having any breaks at all, and I see that I only have 2 more minutes on the camera, so there's no way I'm going to be able to get through all of this. So this video might have to be done in 3 parts. Oh my days.